Hello, my friends. How you doing? So, I want to come talk about UFC 329. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. Here in Turkey, now known as Turkey, or as we say, Turks, Turkey. I just seen the fight today, one day later since it happens in the early morning here. And of course, am I disappointed like everyone else, right? The issue is that I'm disappointed in a different way, my friend. I'm disappointed spiritually. Why, you may ask? Because the Conor that talked the talk of the Zen master, right? The Zen master that mastered all these books, right? That Zen master from before, like 10 years ago in the Aldo interview, right? It was calm. It was precise, What did he say? Precision beats power. Timing beats speed, right? It's all about the timing. It's all about timing. So then, what happened? Was he precise? Did he use the timing? Nah. He started flying. Flying with roundhouse, left high kick into the fight. No glove touch, right? No respect. Well, so, and then what happened? Right away, landing on that right foot, knee, deep in that right knee, And guess what? Is this a coincidence, guys? Is this a coincidence? Of course not. It never is a coincidence. Never is random. Not 1 millisecond in this life is random. Not 1 millisecond has ever been a coincidence. All these body injuries never been a coincidence. Let me give you some evidence. I mean, awakened ones, enlightened ones know this already, right? Because now, when you focus on the now, because all the religions, all the esoteric teachings, all the, all these Eastern Western philosophies, magic schools, everything is about focusing on the now, seeing that heaven and hell is here. It's all about flipping the switch of taking the lesson in every single second instead of focusing on the bad, right? That's what gets you. So yeah. And Conor was doing that before. Conor wasn't like chaotic, right? Before the money, he was talking about in a calm way, like manifestation, all this other stuff. And slowly and surely the money came in, ego came in, pride came in, the lower version of it, not the spiritual kind. And then, things started to mess up. That's what happens. But yeah, there's a reason why Conor was changing his timeline. He was dancing with it. Like, he realized what life was about. He was talking very deep about all this stuff. Manifestation and Zen, being a Zen master. Write Conor McGregor, the Zen master on YouTube and see. And see that basically, there's a video you'll see from some next sports, I forgot. It's a great channel that came back recently. But, let's ground. May as well ground. Kind of weird. Does it matter? It does not matter, my friends. Let's ground. Alright. So, well, he was talking about some good stuff, right? In the Zen Master video, let's just walk there. In the Zen Master video, I'll eventually walk out of these. Today's Sunday, a lot of people, huh? Whoopa, the ball. Got it. I took the ball to the wrong direction, my friend. Why? Because I'm sleepy. Slippers. Anyway, I can't even hear nothing. These headphones match, which is the best. You guys hear everything. Eventually I'll get a microphone. Anyway, so the thing is that now you see from that recent Conor, he's still talking to Pope. He's still the Zen master, right? He's like, oh, all these coincidences. Eventually, oh, I guess it's not a coincidence, right? He's like waking up, but he was already awake. But now, in a deeper level, he's seeing the mistakes he has done and where that led him, right? And the reason why he was big, because again, he was being genuine, he was authentic, he was focused, disciplined, right? He didn't replace all that thing with chaos, fame, pride, all this money stuff. That the real test. Once the real test began, yeah, damn, they are loud. Once the real test begins, right? Then you're being tested. You're always tested in this place. But with the money and fame, those every millisecond tests become even harder tests. Then you realize, someday you gotta really be on your game. You gotta really align, or else you're gonna ruin that stuff, right? You're gonna ruin it in a big way, which is what happened. Which is what happened to Conor McGregor, my friends. Look at this goddess right here. We're gonna talk about all of this stuff later. But yeah. So Conor talking about nothing being coincidence, awakening, eventually realizing, okay, yeah, he can see the mirror, that everyone is a mirror. This 3D world, this matrix, is a mirror. Everyone is part of the source God, basically. And at a deeper level, when you focus on deep, you realize that everything you hear, see, it's your higher self, the source God, actually talking at all times, kind of responding to you. And somehow it all works interchangeably in a perfect way, past, present, future, all interconnected, right? You think that, oh, it's in the past and in the present, and then you ask, okay, I'm gonna do something, right? And let me grab this garbage on the floor. Did I grab it? No. It's in the past. It's in the prior past. It's in the future. It gets deep, right? If I were to pick it up, but while picking it up, it's happening in the now. It's always happening in the now. It's as if you are in a simulation where, let's get out of the crowd, but there's no light there probably. Anyway, it's all happening in the now, right? As if you're in a simulation, you're like a solipsism, tangent simulation of your own. Everyone is in their tangent simulation, and until they level up, they go through those. They go through their own hero's journey. Then the thing is not the lesson's gonna be harder and harder and harder. And yeah, you don't really want that. Eventually, the system gonna make you realize what's really going on. What is really going on, maybe. But yeah. So Conor, knowing all of this, but with the money, fame, and all this stuff, right? 50 G's, baby! What happened? Shit happened. Slowly but surely. What happened to alcohol, right? If you had addictions before, you weren't aligned, all these drugs, you gotta say no to drugs. You gotta keep a clear head. Because if you don't align the head, you don't clear the head, and then, tie it with that heart, the reverse of heart, what is earth, right? Heart is hidden in that cage, rib cage. It's prisoned in this matrix reincarnation soul trap prison, my friend. That you gotta also advance and understand that in this real life you can actually pass through those layers so that you don't get sent back, or you don't send yourself back. Anyway, so the name of the game is to realize it here, which is what all the religions about. It's all talking about metaphoric stuff, figurative speech, allegories. It's all, you gotta be the Jesus Christ yourself. You gotta reborn on this earth and reborn over and over again to pass your lessons and, save yourself. everyone can only save yourself if you just on that waiting, or let's wait for the Ragnarok, let's wait for the apocalypse, let's wait for the Jesus to save, let's wait for... No. You just ain't gonna keep waiting and waiting and waiting. You're gonna put pause on your simulation. There's a lot of people here too. Look at this. Let me show you the best ship in the world. So then, look at that. Man. See those angels? Yeah. All those. And then there's some cool stuff. You can check that out too. But yeah. So if you don't pass those lessons, you're just gonna put pause on your simulation. Your tangent simulation is just gonna get harder and harder and harder. And with money, fame, and stuff, well, tests get harder and harder. Conor knows this very well, and he knows. He talked about all of this. You look into it. He talked about it before. He talked about it now. He talked about it always. Oh, there's not many people here. We may as well hang around here. So yeah. Actually, let's go to that other ships too, and then come back here. But anyway, ooh, look at that Turkish flag, amazing. Can't even see nothing. Anyway, but yeah, you gotta be the dragon, my friends. The dragon. Don't wake up the dragons by bombing Iran. Don't do it. For that dragon blood oil. Anyway, so my friend. You gotta wake up the higher self. Take it out of that rib cage that it's caged in, surrounded by cells of the body, blood, right? The prison cells, and connect it with the clear mind. You gotta align first. Without that, you're gonna get the fame, you're gonna get the fortune, and then you're gonna go back to addictions. What is Conor's addiction? You know, what is every man's addictions almost? Woman and drugs. Yeah. Distractions, deception, manipulation. The woman in red dress, my friend. Woman in red dress. So those agent Smiths is gonna get you. They are there to get you, because if your frequency, energy, vibration is not aligned, then you're gonna attract shit into your life. Harder and harder lessons. Harder and harder and harder lessons, my friend. You're gonna eventually have to face the Vikings. And then you face the Pirates of the Caribbean's octopus man. Anyway. So unfortunately, Conor started the fight talking about all that Zen shit with flying roundhouse left high kick. What? No, still yelling and still like disrespects and stuff against a very powerful Hawaiian warrior with like real like actionable spiritual understanding of respect. Like he said, what did Max say? I don't hit a wounded dog. He was like right away, he saw it. Right away, he didn't want to continue. Yeah, that's a real warrior, my friend. An Hawaiian warrior at that. Powerful one. So now, let's go through these red carpet. Anyway, so then, my friends, what happens when you do this? Shit happens. And this is not to say, oh, karma got him, karma got him. No, I'm a big fan of Conor. I'm a big fan of every fighter. I've been doing MMA for a long time. I love every fighter. Like to put yourself in a cage, to put yourself in a training where you gotta master everything, right? Not just boxing, not just hand fighting. These Turkish songs, man, you're gonna get me addicted. Let's go a little bit there. Anyway, See, it says in the song that I'm not gonna love anymore. Probably Conor, things like that, right? But all the blame is on me, it says. Because again, there's no coincidence. There's no this song playing right now, and nothing is a coincidence, man. And just to give further evidence again, like I was saying before, let me give you that. So the further evidence would be Conor, right? Double champ. Cage Warriors. 144 pounds, 145 pounds, and 55 pounds. Champ in Cage Warriors. Respectable organization. Then comes to UFC right away. First minute basically knockout in the first round. And then second fight, guess who he fight? Guess who he fought with? Max Holloway. Excuse me. Unanimous decision, right? Unanimous decision. But in the second round, as far as I remember, knee injury. He pulled through a knee injury, kept going, and won the fight unanimously. Now that was 13 years ago, in 2013. Now around 13 years after, in 2026, what happened? Knee injury again. But before that, with Dustin Poirier, what happened then? Leg broke, another basically knee stuff, right? Now, 13 years after, 13 years before the second fight, Max Holloway, that kind of catapulted him, right? Oh, he beat Max? Damn, that's a huge thing to do in UFC. And then, Conor again, like he came in with all the aura, all the authenticity, all these amazing things. The future of currency is authenticity, my friends. And he already, before, he proved this. So, then what happened? Then Conor went on, knockout, this, eventually amazing mental games on Aldo, which was the best pound and pound, at the time, featherweight, I believe. Anyway, then in 13 seconds, 13 seconds, he knocks out Aldo, right? Made him, got into his head, played the game right, but in a zen, calm state. You check, Conor McGregor Zen 10 years ago with the Aldo interview, you will see how calm he was, how he switched up. And he was dancing with it. Again, he knew how to dance with the manifestation, right? He was like, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, my friend. And then boom, it happened. I'm Mystic Mac. I predict these things. And seeing that was amazing. Right? And I was like we needed that guy. This guy made UFC 10 times better, right? He brought a lot of fans. And then I was like, oh yes, dude. Fucking UFC is one of the best sports ever, the best period. It's the hardest business in the world, hardest sport. You gotta, again, master everything. Kicks, wrestling, BJJ, Muay Thai, boxing, everything. MMA specific versions of it. But yeah. So, then what happened, right? Then, let's may as well walk back and then walk other stuff. You guys may as well see some different backgrounds. But anyway, so yeah. What happened is that Conor, rightfully, he took the throne, right? He was authentic. He did everything right, discipline, And then all this stuff after, Zen master stuff, all this stuff until he hit a big rock, as we say in Turkey. Nate Diaz, the original gangster, who fully understands the lyrics of that song. Damn it, it feels good to be a gangster. Damn it, it feels good to be a gangster. Right? That song, look into the lyrics. Deep lyrics. Now, Nate is someone who understands all those lyrics very well. Lived through it. You know, respect. The real warrior spirit. Endurance. Right? That Conor couldn't endure much. And yeah, with that hard rock, when he faced the real gangster, then what happens? Then he got his first lesson in his own tangent simulation, in his own universe that's interconnected with our universes. So then, you know, and I'll write all about this, everything in way more detail. I'll post it on the description, you know, all what I'm trying to say here. Because I gotta say it. Not many people are gonna talk about this stuff. Being a UFC fan and also for a long time doing martial arts and everything, understanding the, you know, I sparred too, and not like them. Light sparring, okay? Like, I protect my head, okay? It's important. But anyway, so then, once he was tested in a big way, he had to learn his big lesson. And the second fight, you know, knowing how this thing works, right? And he was a paleo diet. Let's continue. I pressed pause on by mistake. Anyway, so then, you know, in that fight, he was also following a paleo diet against Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz always following, you know, usually like vegan, especially coming in the close, you know, fight camp. So then, the condition obviously got affected, and a lot of things got affected. But yeah, in the second fight, he did the things he needed to do, and I still had a razor close fight. And now we need a trilogy, and that's what I'm gonna push for. I think he can definitely come back. He's gonna come back as a new warrior. He needs to bring back the old Conor, the old mentality, but now in a new way. Understand the lessons, implement them, you know, clear the signal, align fully, and then come back and show us what you were made before, made of, Ireland warrior. My vote is on Conor in the future as well, and in the past, when it comes to leadership stuff, because people who understand the manifestation stuff, people who understand the enlightenment and awakening, and instead of these reptilians that rule our world, which will take them down. Oh yeah, we shall create a new world. The reeds and weeds shall be separated. The labyrinth, right? Labyrinth. The tares. But anyway, in Bible. So, I need to get a gimbal too. Anyway, so yeah, after amazing, you know, knockout, you know, Max Holloway fight, and then all these fight Nate Diaz, first lesson. Now you're wrestling, you know, all that stuff is, you know, karma. And karma is not punishment, it's correction. It's like, it's alignment. It's trying to make you understand. Wait up. Same thing with depression. Jim Carrey also talked about this a lot. Jim Carrey, one of the ones who was awakened before and deeply awakened as he went on the fame journey, instead of getting, you know, crazy, but and then now the new version, which is a retired Jim Carrey, who's not a different character. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we are all playing characters anyway. Once you realize, this was all planned, we were all playing characters from before. It was always about characters that was needed. We are all needed in this place. We are all walking each other home at the end of the day, my friend. I'm gonna walk from this other path. But yeah. So then, my friend, then what happened is that after all those lessons, he had to come back, and he came back, and Donald Cerrone, amazing win. Eddie Alvarez especially, right? What a fight. Again, he was living in the moment. Understood the lesson. Live in the moment. Right? Like I'm doing. I'm living in the moment. Walking around doing, music comes in, I'm dancing. I'm singing to it. You know, having fun. Choosing to have fun instead of getting crammed up in the house, watching depressing videos, dark shit. You want to do that, go do that. It's up to you. Whatever you need, you choose. And then you live through it. Anyway. But yeah, now comes the 13-second victory against Aldo. Amazing knockout. Right? One of the fastest knockouts in UFC. Against Pounder, you know, like the one of the best pound fighter. Jose Aldo. Then, you know, 13 years before, Max Holloway second fight ever in UFC, having that knee injury. Oh, there's dancing going on. And then, this dancing. I gotta talk. This song is gonna get copyrighted. I don't even know the lyrics, but I'm singing it anyway. Alright, let's get out of there. So my friend. So yeah, there's so many songs. Let's walk on the main street. You're gonna get some calm soon, my friend. Eventually. Let me go from there. Alright. So yeah, that amazing journey, rightfully earned by Conor. Right? Because he was being authentic, he was living in the moment, he was manifesting, he was understanding the deep shit. All of a sudden we get this new Conor. The money, the fame. All of a sudden, what does that amplify is that your addictions, your bad, the unaligned stuff gets, you know, gets deepened and deepened. Such as what I said, drugs and women, the, you know, betraying your wife and all this, you know, cheating and all this alcohol, you know, like that entity, that possession that people willingly make themselves do. Then, my friend, then what happens? Then you get unaligned. You get taught a lesson. How? The universe stops you. Sometimes with depression, like I said with Jim Carrey, but sometimes with injuries, unfortunately, which sucks. Which fucking sucks. Hopefully he, like Conor, heals soon. Sending all the healing powers to him. You know? So, but my friend. Sometimes life has to do that for you to realize. Like the lessons get harder and harder. If you put a pause on your simulation, not see the lesson, not live in the moment to understand. Oh, everything I hear and see is trying to tell me something. It's my higher self trying to make me understand shit. You know? So yeah, anyway. I already talked about all that before anyway, and wrote many articles on my community post on YouTube anyway, but if you want to look into it. And you know, get crazy with it, because you gotta go crazy in order to awaken in this fucking shite of a hell. But anyway, and then you turn it into heaven, and I shall do that. But with the drugs, with alcohol, with that entity possessing Conor's soul, whom understood the game, whom not in a maybe deepest level, because he still willingly chose that path of drugs and all this stuff, which again, you get the money, you know, you eventually want to do that. Before, you know, he talking shit against Nate, right? Like, oh, you money, like trying to make him count and all this stuff, like, again, karma type of stuff he did, right? Like that type of disrespect against, especially against someone who is living through their dharma in a OG way. That's gonna, universe gonna make you suck it. But in the fight, you suck, you know. So then what happens? Then shit happens. So, and that's what happened to Conor. That is what happened to Conor. And everybody wanted to see, you know, that fight. But it ended in the first 13 seconds with that, basically first second, no hand touch, no respect. Right away, you know, trying to do some bullshit. And it's not like Max deserved that. You're doing that against a powerful, again, spiritual warrior, basically, who understands the Hawaiian spiritual business. It's, you know, great stuff. But yeah, then what happens is that life teaches you, life shows you. Maybe you aren't doing it right? Maybe you are meant to change something. And Conor was tested in a huge way. Because again, with a lot of money, which again, good thing this wasn't boxing where people actually get what they deserve on a higher level when they do these higher fights. Like big fights, big names and whatever. Because then he'd get 10 times, 100 times more money. The whole career combined, you know. And Nate wasn't getting nothing before the Conor fight. So yeah. This is why you gotta be on your game. You gotta have a clean mind. You put drugs in there, you know, your thoughts create your reality. Life is, you know, is life happening to you or for you, my friend? It's happening for you because you can flip a switch and decide to change your mind, stance, you know. Or you do the opposite. You keep going. You keep doing the, oh, I'm angry, I'm doing this, I'm frustration. Let's be on the jealous energy. I want this and that. Oh, life shows me that from other people. I'm gonna be jealous and envious, and I'm gonna be on my high ego and high pride and toxic shit. And then, well, life is gonna keep showing you the same shit, same lessons. It's gonna get harder and harder and harder until you realize you gotta clap for others, but you gotta clap for yourself first. You gotta realize, you know, appreciate and not only appreciate, but everything you got, which nobody does. You know, you're not only hands, brain, everything that's working, but, you know, if that's the case, for most people that is, but also, you know, understand that everything is happening for a reason. We are not just here because evolution, abiogenesis, Big Bang. I was almost 20 years agnostic atheist until again astral projection, like teaching it to many people for 6-7 years now on virtual reality, especially. They know me as Neo Reborn on big screen app on Quest, on VR rather. But anyway, so all right, I'm getting used to this. I press pause by mistake. So yeah, anyway, teaching for 6-7 years astral projection, and then Mandela effects happening to me, and then Matrix and kind of soul trap theory, where I wrote the first ebook on that, and then in a deep way, and basically eventually I understood that everything I understood there, you know, how we are very powerful. There's everything happens actually, yes, for a reason. That not only we are powerful, but that we are aligned in here while living in here. That yes, this is a test. In deeper levels, it's not. In the even deeper levels, it is. It was every single millisecond when you watch TV shows, anime, cartoons, music, listening, movies, TV show, whatever, everything. You are being tested at all times, at all times. But you get the fame, you get the fortune, you get the money, you are on your dharma, you do what you came here to do, and then life gives you what you need. And in Conor's case, it gave a lot, and that a lot tests you in a big way. Again, Conor knows this very well. Max knows this. Celebrities knows this. A lot of celebrities. And they eventually, some of them change too. Some of them get corrupted into evil paths. Start worshiping Satan and shit. Not realizing, okay, if Satan is there, what about the other thing? If darkness is there, what about the light? And what can light do to darkness, my friend? Oh, it can. You know what it can do. Anyway. So yeah, a little bit of disappointing energy here. Talking Conor, all that stuff, but still with that cigars and all this alcohol and woman in red dress with male skeletons. Anyway, so then shit happens. Shit happened to him. So yeah, unfortunately, we saw Conor start that fight with the, again, roundhouse, that high left kick, without giving respect to Max, and right away, life had to teach him, right? Let's sit down a little bit. Life, hopefully they're more quiet here. Life had to teach him, my friend, in a big way. With another knee injury, again, 13 years later, again, with Dustin Poirier, again it happened. 13 seconds victory in Aldo at like that Zen times. That was the best Conor. Why? Because he was supported by his higher self and his highest self. All of our highest self. The source God, the God, like that word is, there's a reason why God written in reverse means dog. Dog represents here, the best friend of man, right? But why? Because unconditional love, which most Muslims won't give you, because you are not at the right frequency, alignment, and energy and vibration for that to happen. Without walking through your hero's journey, don't expect that what you got is your twin flame, your soulmate. No, you got to get rid of everybody. Your whole family has got to go. Your whole relatives, relationships, everything has got to go in a way, because that was a test before you came in here. You signed that dotted line that said, I'm gonna get the hardest lesson. Even my family will work against me. It's gonna seem like it's a soulmate situation, but nah, it's not. So yeah, let's walk more. Let's sit somewhere else. But yeah, then you understand that, oh yeah, actually my dharma, whatever your dharma is, for me is like basically, I had my, again, ebook almost 4 years ago. All these videos I make, all this for the last 20 years, being a deep researcher, 724, just interested in learning something new every day, just improving this thing, for being an ethical vegan, or just vegan, you should say, for 15 years. Again, heart and brain, everything not only makes sense, but ethically makes sense, health-wise makes sense, environmentally makes sense, humanitarian level makes sense. So yeah, all that stuff, I had to learn, and eventually it taught me what I needed to know, which is that everything happens in the now. Once you focus in the now, then you understand, my friend, what you need to understand. All those heroes' journey, right? In your hero's journey, it's a long path, and for some other people, sometimes again, people like me come into the picture, and people still don't understand who I actually am. Do you know your astral projection, state? Have you been into astral plane? Have you seen yourself? Again, we are playing two lives. When you sleep, you're in a different life, my friend, but most people don't remember that life. and the beyond as well, obviously, because you're not meant to anyway, for the most people, unless you have pre-birth memories and other stuff. But yeah, you gotta pass your stuff here, and then you can get out. And then, especially when people tell you, they give you the truth in golden plate, and then you backstep them like a piece of shite, which is all fine. They know not what they do. It's all good, my friend. It's all good. I understand. You know, this type of stuff makes you look crazy, and then once you think it's crazy, then you know, you do mistakes, right? That word leaves the mouth, it's done with. And I don't mess around with red flags. No red flags shall prosper in my presence, right? So yeah, that's what life teaches you. So you gotta focus on those red flags, right? Conor focused on some of them, ignored some of them, and those distortions, alcohol, woman, other thing, became, you know, controlled his reality. And every time, like, once again, knee injury, this again, the spirit is what controls the body. The mind is the blind man. The body is the crippled man. They work together. But you gotta understand the signals. When there's some stuff going on in your body, or depression, like that depression is not meant to stay for months, years. No, you gotta understand, oh, there's something, you gotta pause. Same thing, those injuries, they mean something. You gotta pause something. And for many years, you know, with the comeback of Conor, like, of course it's tough, right? Like, it's tough to come back from many years of when Max was on his game. Max Holloway was winning all, like Dustin Poirier, like the Justin Gaethje, amazing last second, you know, best knockout in the world when it comes to especially the last second of the fight, 5th round, I believe. And the BMF belt, right? Best motherfucker. The best gangster. So yeah, well earned by Max. That warrior that's, you know, played it right and got to see what that does. Now Conor, on the other hand, he knew the truth too, but he let what came with the truth corrupt him. Again, the money, all this other stuff. All of a sudden the discipline is gone. All of a sudden chaos enters the picture. All of a sudden all kinds of BS starts happening in your life. And then what did Conor say in that Conor McGregor the Zen Master video, right? He said, oh, all these coincidences, eventually it made me understand. You know, he again, enlightening, awakening. He understood the game that we play in this video game type of simulation, this horror game, in a way, right? In this game, you either play it right, or you play it wrong, and then you repeat the same lesson, the same test, those words and shit we hate, right? Goddamn lesson, fucking lessons. I came here to fucking mind wipe and then lessons on top, shit. And then over and over again, because I couldn't test and understand before and before. Or some people like me, being my 1,000th time old souls, you know. We come here for a different reason. I come here to get everybody out of here, this hellish place. It's because, you know, at the deepest level, you can see how fair it is, and especially if you knew people's past and what they, you know, past reincarnations, whatever. But then, at this level of humanity, human perspective, not fair at all. But yeah, as you understand more and more, you understand, okay, it's fair, but fuck this, you know. Damn. It's gotta be this tough. It's gotta be this amazing at the same time, with a lot of mysteries, questions, unknowns, you know what I mean? That's also a good part. It's also great. If you choose to be curious about it, if you choose to be excited about it, if you choose to, you know, what you love, your highest desire, the formula of Bashar, right? That you follow your highest desires for as much as you can. You know, like let's say what I'm making a video right now. Well, that's what I want to do right now. The most, like out of 10, it's 9.999. I want to make a video. Now, do I want to stop this video to go eat at McDonald's? Absolutely not. As a vegan especially. But that's 0 out of 10, negative 10 out of 10. But then, you know, you gotta like do a math system. Okay, there's like 5 things I can do. Okay, this one is 9.4, this one is 9.5, let's do the 9.5 until you don't want to do it anymore. Like it's all of a sudden doesn't feel good, or eventually, you know, there's another thing that's 9.6 now. So once you understand that game, you understand that if you follow your highest desires, that means your highest self. You're one step at a time coming closer to your highest self, and you take one real step towards real awareness. Damn, the real awareness takes 10 steps towards you. It's that merciful. But you gotta understand the game. You gotta play the game right. You gotta know the universal laws. You know what I mean? Law, manifestation, law of assumption, law of all kinds of laws. You don't know the laws, you don't know the rules of the game, you don't know the cheat codes, you're gonna suffer and suffer and suffer. You're gonna put yourself in the mindset of, in fact, you know, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? Right? But then, Zen, my friend, then you see the moment of now, like Conor saw. Oh, is this coincidence? Are these coincidences that's happening to me? Or are they trying to tell me something? Is every moment of the now trying to tell me something? A test, a lesson in the path of that hero's journey. That Buddhistic, you know, that matrix journey. That Neo, you know. And eventually, you start to realize, oh, I gotta realize this karma stuff in a deeper way, and then get on with my dharma, so that, you know, working with your higher self, highest self, that unconditional love. It's all about love, your highest desires, joy, peace, happiness. Focus on that and see what happens. Again, focus on the other thing. Like again, I could walk now these streets like, yeah, I wanna punch someone. I wanna, like, if I walk with that energy, someone gonna come eventually, you know, offer me a duel, and I'm gonna accept, right? Not me, from the past. I would never hurt another soul, you know, another myself, another mirror, another me, myself, and I. You can't hurt that. I don't even hurt bugs. I try my best not to, unless they try to come for my blood. But anyway, so, my friend, you know, you realize these things, then everything changes, because now you decide to focus on what you want to focus on. You don't watch dark shit, you watch good shit. You try to align with your soul, which will align with you, with your spirit, your higher self, and then your highest self. That's the name of the game. And then eternal bliss. And it's amazing, my friend. And these gods, these stars among us, these celebrities, whom already figured that out, for the most part. But some of them in a narcissistic way, right? Some of them is like, oh, okay, like what was that book, 4 to 7, whatever, laws of whatever, like manipulating people and understanding, you know, basically how to manipulate NPCs who are still sleeping. These, the Walking Dead, the zombies, you know, who hasn't awakened to the mirror. Realize that 3D world matrix is a mirror. Everyone is a mirror. Everyone is God speaking to you, basically, once you truly understand and listen. And see, try to understand, what is this second, what is this moment trying to tell me? What is the lesson in this? Why did this happen to me? Why did Conor, you know, face like the double champ? And then in UFC, the first double champion. You know, featherweight and what was it? Anyway, double weight, the double champ. Not only in Cage Warriors, but also on UFC, which is the first one to ever do it. That's the hardest. So then, you know, he was on his game. He was talking about all the good stuff, the manifestations and everything, as I said. But unfortunately, the fame happened and the big money happened, which nobody in UFC basically got that much until Conor came in. Why? Because he came in with the future. Again, the future of currency is authenticity. Authenticity is the future of the currency. The currency of the future, rather. But yeah. So, once people do what they love, right? They are authentic. They are being themselves. What happens is that... Alright, switching to the other camera. Now, what happens when you follow your... Let's get out of here. Alright. So what happens is that... Alright, safe. Right, lit. So, you gotta be careful in Turkey. But not really. Because nobody even here is the best town. Once you're in those retirement towns, touristic towns, you see the best of the best. But anyway, so yeah, what happens when you're on your authenticity and you do what you love? Other people love that, right? Like, who did steal the show today after the huge disappointment that happened at the end? Well, that was... Who was that? Alright? You know who? Not only Bobby Green, of course, let's first mention that. Bobby Green also being authentic and everything else. But yeah, the Liverpool lad, you know, stole the show, right? Of course, because again, he also understands the game, and he even created on, you know, YouTube channel, and in a deeper way, smart, no? Smart stuff works. Spiritual stuff works. You combine both, you get what you need to continue with your dharma. Then karma laughs at you. Now you get it. It was never a punishment. It was just alignment for your dharma, your path that you really want, because that's your highest path, because you accepted that from before, and now, you know, before you came here, right? Then you start following it and you realize, oh yeah, I love doing this. I love doing this video. Because I also realize, okay, everyone is unique. Who else is gonna make this video the way I'm gonna make it, right? Then you realize, oh, I got stuff I love doing, and I can do it in a unique way, my way, because everyone is unique, and everyone is of equal in reality, even though we are on different paths of our hero's journey. Some people gotta be, you know, walking karma to others, like the last chance, and then they gotta do it again or go through harder lessons to hopefully finish everything and then get out of here with me, because this is my last time on this place. And then I'm dedicated to create heaven on earth, because it happens one person at a time, with the butterfly effect and the paid forward effect. Right away, mate. Right away, we're gonna change this world. And especially this year, a lot more people are waking up, getting enlightened, you know. Then you start engaging with the angels. What kind of angels, you may ask? Let me show you, my friend. In Turkey, we have these type of angels. You see? See them? Look. Let's go. Let's call this angel to us. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? Oh, yo. You are such a cool tiny kid, huh? Look at this kid. Good one. Oh, you feisty, huh? look at this. This one gotta eat more. Not much tummy. Not much tummy there, huh, buddy? Not much tummy there. Oi, oi, oi. Our little kids. Turkish stray kids, the street kids, the street OGs are the best. Especially these male guys, you know? Here's the other one. These guys don't mess around. These guys don't mess around. But yeah, the best part of Turkey, these kids and some amazing dogs as well are everywhere. Once I start petting, you know, I can't stop. So, how you guys doing? Huh? Look at that. You see? That's the original gangster right there. How you doing, Nate? Alright. Anyway. So yeah. Then you start seeing again angels like them, right? Because they are actually very spiritual beings that demand respect. Ruled Egypt once, right? Powerful protectors. You know, pick your favorite illusions, your fantasies, whatever. It's all allegories, metaphors, figurative speech. That's why, again, before in religions they spoke about figurative stuff before, right? And people take it literally, and people keep changing it. These governments, this evil that controls eventually these reptilians, these, you know, quote unquote, and all this darkness that's going to be cleaned out by people like me and many other light warriors, the chosen ones, 144,000, you know, the new leaders of the new earth. Becoming, my friend. We are already here. We've been doing changes, and way more changes going to happen because it happens exponentially. Again, once that one person understands what's going on and then implements it, then all of a sudden, instead of sending out bad shit, start sending good shit. And before, if that person knew every tiny thing that he did, she did, like the saying thank you to the driver or whatever, right? That had that energy now has to go through this other person, like that commercial when one person does again something good, another person, another, you know, like it has to amplify. It has to, like, that energy has to be shared around, and it's all about connections at the end, realizing that we are all connected anyway. So yeah, with that butterfly effect and pay it forward effect, it changes, especially once person stops doing the bad stuff and just focus on the good stuff. Then again, just one person doing that already is huge. But even if that person knew from before doing the bad and doing the good that he did already change the world, right? Everyone changes the world. So yeah, that's how we're gonna change this world in a huge way. 7-7. So yeah, that's the name of the game. And yeah, Conor now gotta heal, gotta, you know, see through the deeper lessons, understand, like before, okay, it's about alignment, it's about embodiment of your higher self, it's about understanding the game, understanding the dance, and dancing with it, having fun. Once you dance, you are connected to your spirit in a huge way. Once you listen to music, you're connected to your spirit in a huge way. These things that make you, you know, you love, right? These things affect everything. But first, it affects you. First, you gotta complete your hero's journey to find your twin flame if you care about that shit. But anyway, some people like me gotta, you know, married to the game, married to my own thing. Like this kid, being fed. Turkish people, you know, all these restaurants feed them very well, my friends. So yeah, unlike that other one. That other one somehow you don't eat them much, huh? Maybe just at a birth. Or not really, but anyway. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, you know, like kind of like my disappointment is different. My disappointment is kind of spiritual disappointment. Like seeing a person understand the deeper layers, but usually, like, you know, talk about it and not be about it. Even though before he was talking about it and being about it, but then again, the hardcore tests that comes with money and fame, drugs and everything, and all these distortions that you had amplifies. Then unfortunately shit happens. But yeah, now a lot of Conor fans are obviously devastated. A lot of Max Holloway fans are devastated. We wanted to see a 5-round battle. I wanted to see a 5-round battle. We wanted to see Conor, like that comeback journey, which will happen again. I'm sure like Nate Diaz trilogy will happen eventually, and that's gonna be amazing. We're gonna see another amazing clash of two people understanding the game now at the deepest levels. Because again, your spirit will let you know with depression, with other things, or eventually with injuries, unfortunately. And I've had my own injuries, especially with BJJ. I stopped that shit. If I do BJJ, it's just like video courses and the exercise dummy, that BJJ dummy. But I even quit that stuff. Like, why am I learning? Like, as if I don't want to hurt anybody anyway. So, especially once I got awakened to a deeper and deeper level, I kind of stopped. Anyway, I did that for a long time anyway, so I'm good. And I don't need, but the aura that it gives you, the discipline, that everything else in between is amazing, right? Then you walk different, you sound different, right? Then you know how to, protect yourself. You know how to, not make the bad situation become worse. The training, the training gives you the de-escalation mastery training. The full metal alchemist, because it's all about becoming a full metal alchemist, this whole thing. Turning lead into gold. Every bad situation that happened to you, all these injuries, all these horrible stuff, well, that means you are now at a different level. The breakthrough is coming, especially when the suffering is at a max. And then eventually you realize, oh, even that thing didn't kill me. Even all that suicidal depression and all this other stuff, and me promising to myself, no, I'm done, many times. Well, somehow I'm here, right? Eventually you realize, maybe there's something going on here. Somehow I'm being stopped from exiting. And then, you go through the hero's path to realize, oh yeah, I was meant to be here. I was meant to continue. I was meant to create the new world, help create it. Because I, alongside with many, play a role. And now many people play a conscious role. Like Jim Carrey saying, I was playing the character of Jim Carrey, not realizing it. And then eventually he realized it. Then, what happened is that, he improved. It improved like with everything, right? Like all of a sudden different characters playing different characters, realizing that, oh yeah, actually everyone is playing characters. I was even playing a character. This was all assigned roles basically that I picked with my higher self and highest self. So yeah, just like kind of Abrahamic religions even like talk about, like even the Jewish religion, like with God, you plan your life, and then before you're born with the womb, like you get the mind wipe basically, and many other things talk about the same. Why? Because it's all leads to same, like all these religions and everything else in between, they are touching the same elephant, right? But some people touch the leg, they say, oh, God is a tree. Some people touch the tail, God is a, rope. Some people touch the ear, they say, oh, God is a carpet. And if you don't believe God is a carpet, you will burn in hell forever, my friend. So I'm just trying to say, like, you failed the test, my friend. Religions are traps. They are not making you close to God. They're making you closer and closer to hell, which is what you live in right now with that mentality, and life will prove it to you. You are in a purgatory of your own making. But eventually you realize that there's a way out, but you got to create that way. You got to be your own Jesus Christ. You can't wait on Jesus Christ. Once you realize you have to be the one to save you, then you just save yourself. That's it. It's that simple. That, Arjun and Krishna, eventually Arjun realizes, right? Okay, we are friends, Krishna, but I'm gonna take this thing seriously now. Like Neo, getting outside the Matrix, downloading Kung Fu. Let's actually, before going back into the Matrix to help others, let's learn, let's improve, let's realize what we need to realize. And then you realize that you gotta go through a fight. Arjun is like, why do I gotta fight, Krishna? I love the other side, this side, why do I gotta fight? God damn it. You wanna understand why? Let's be serious then. And then eventually Arjun, understands. And then, like Vishnu, you become the stronger soldier of God. It's higher self. And yeah, then it's easy. Why? Because at any moment, anything that bad happens to you, you can decide how you want to feel about that, right? How do you want to feel about death, right? How would you like to feel about death, my friend? Do you want to be angry? Because that anger will produce more reasons to be angry. You want to be jealous? You're going to have more reasons to be jealous. Whatever, you complain, you're going to have more stuff to complain about. You practice all these bad emotions, complaining, stress, anxiety, depression, again, anger, jealousy, envy. You want to keep practicing those, you'll have more reasons to practice that stuff, and your lessons and what you face is going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. Eventually so hard that, again, an injury happens or other stuff happens, an accident happens, but you got to be like, this accident happened, but it prevented me from going into a deeper cycles that I wouldn't be able to get out of. So my highest self work together to stop me. Then you can say with spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, which all, it was before I was saying it was all BS, but now I understand in a deeper way. Nah, it's all real too. It's just that you gotta wake up here. It's not just about focusing on love and light, rainbows and sunshine, kumbaya, me Lord, kumbaya, kumbaya, me Lord, kumbaya, nah. It's not just about that 5D shift, ascension, new age shite. It's about understanding duality, the dark side. You gotta master, like, Darth Vader. You gotta master the light and the dark. You gotta understand the hell you're in, and you wanna understand to turn into heaven. But it's not gonna be heaven like that. But your mentality can be heaven, like that guy who wrote the book in Holocaust, surviving the Holocaust and also having a different perspective in Holocaust. All of a sudden, that different perspective brought different outcome, right? A different outcome. Even though everything was horrible, things was experienced in a much different perspective, much different way, which showed much different angles of this game, of this scripted, almost deterministic thing that, again, freezes until you start to pay attention, truly focus on it in a deep 100 times focused way, and then you realize, you see the 3D mirror, you see that 3D world is a mirror, everyone is a mirror, everyone is God, basically talking with God, because we are all kind of Sophia, split apart like Gnosticism. It's all going through the same thing anyway. We are all one. And yes, I don't want to be one with the rapists. I don't want to be with the killers. I want the weeds, to be separated. The wheat, the tares to be gone to another reincarnation. And then we live the heaven reincarnation, and they can live in their wars and whatever, all these conflicts, that their inner worlds also bring our inner worlds right now are trying to be manipulated by these demons, by these Satanists, basically, in a way. Devil worshippers. Baphomet, right? Wow. So yeah. But then those people are gonna realize in a deep way, oh shit, if that stuff is real, if I was worshipping money and all this stuff, and I was manipulating people, and I chose the path of narcissist psychopath to understand the rules of the game, karma and everything, and show the truth of it in a, different way because I had to, like they had to. But at the same time, there's the many awakened ones, or they eventually get awakened and more in a deeper way. But they do what they love. Once you do what you love, once you do your dharma, you have to. It doesn't matter. You have to touch the many different angles of the truth in a deep way. And then you're going to spread, and then it's going to align. That type of stuff will align more and more with people. Why? Because you're touching their soul. All these big eagle songs and everything, all these songs that got listened billions of times, Michael Jackson and all this stuff. They were stars, they were angels. And they brought some deep truth. Powerful light warriors. Yeah. That's what happens. And then, once you focus on what you love, you focus on authenticity, embodiment, alignment. You do what you love and people love it, and it keeps growing. Somehow the universe opens the doors for you to go where you need to go, because you gotta, we are all walking each other home in our own way. So I hope Conor, takes a stand and understands once again that, okay, I understand the game, but within the action, I start with the flying roundhouse kick. And then you already have bad, legs, bad knees, and you already have your past of your injuries trying to show you something and everything else trying to show you something, and you don't see it. Then what happens is that you get humbled. You get humbled. So and he needs to get humbled more, align more with respect, and just now, instead of again talking about it, you gotta be about it. And once you're gonna be about it, I think the best fight to come back to is gonna be Nate Diaz trilogy. And we're gonna see some cool stuff. Nate Diaz trilogy, right? So I hope to see that. I know. I believe he's 37 years old. I'm 33. I'm on my prime. But I don't get old. Why? I've been on my dharma for 20 years. Why does some of these celebrities don't get old? It's just about Botox and surgery, my friend. No. It's also about once you start to focus on your dharma, you become kind of like a vampire. You don't kind of age much, right? You do the right things. You do what you're supposed to do. You try to understand. You follow the game. Well, you get rewarded with not really aging, not getting all this stress, and getting deeper and deeper information, because information is worth way more when you compare it with money. Because money, my friend, what can money buy, right? Like when you think about it, really, let's think about it. Money can buy an amazing bed, right? Amazing bed. But can it buy you sleep? Amazing sleep? No. Can money buy you an amazing house, right? Can. Yeah. But not the home, that amazing home, right? It can buy you that perfect clock, right? The Rolexes and shit. But it's not gonna buy you time, right? I can go on and on. But yeah, I'll make another video about that. But yeah, so that's what it is. Like, these things, if you have distortions, it's gonna corrupt you. Don't get corrupted. And yeah, if you don't get corrupted, you become Max Holloway. You keep on shining, you know? That, what was that song? That little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Right? All this stuff from childhood. Like, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Right? It is. It is a shared dream. A shared simulation. Shared video game. It's all interconnected. Past, present, future is interconnected. You live your inner child, you know? That inner child that didn't worry about the future, wasn't regretful of the past, lived in the moment, and everything was amazing. Then school happened, the family dramas happened. Eventually we were like, oh no, I shouldn't talk, I shouldn't, okay, I gotta keep on learning all this bullshit information that I don't need anyway. Everything has to be perfect, checked, you know, okay, you pass, and then now you're a zombie. Now you gotta relearn, you gotta deprogram, you gotta go outside of the matrix, download Kung Fu, the real one, and then you do, you know, you get what you deserve in a way, right? Not necessarily deserve, but what's fair. Max Holloway got what's fair. But it wasn't about punishment when it comes to Conor. It was just logic. It's what happens. If again, you ruin your temple, this is the most important thing. If you ruin your temple with cigars, alcohol, alcoholic demons basically, position, and all this other bad stuff, the woman in red dress and whatever, and then you're gonna start punching an old man for not drinking your drink, you know, that pissed me off, and all this other stuff that pissed me off, that Conor did. Pissed a lot of people off because it's very disappointing. It's not only just disappointing in this physical 3D layer, but in the 5D perspective of spiritual layer. Once you can see those two worlds. Oh, another song. The song is still without copyright there. So yeah, in these spiritual layers of the 5D, right? Then you realize that, you know, there are actually two worlds going on at the same time. The 3D one and the 5D. And yeah, oh, I love this song, but alright, we're done. Now yeah, there's two worlds. Two worlds. 3D one and the 5D. Can you see both at the same time? If you get awakened, enlightened, you can. And you understand that everything is trying to speak to you. And yeah, once you're at that layer, you keep on understanding and evolving. And I hope Conor chooses the path of evolvement, which he will, I know, because he understands the game in a deeper way. He just needs to put into it action, you know, more action. I don't think this should be the end of Conor. This should be a new beginning of a new warrior, and yeah, Nate Diaz trilogy. Both are at a level of, you know, good, you know, like a good competitive, I think, fight would happen there. And yeah, I think that's going to be a good one to see. That's going to be a good one to see. Let's listen to this. I got this. Very good, very good. Alright. So yeah, let me walk more. We'll go out of song with you. So anyway, I already spoke a lot anyway. Got my daily walk in and feel great. And yeah, especially after you do your dharma work, you do your video. Let me get out of here too. It's a loud one. Alright. It's classic Turkish songs and Kurdish songs. Amazing. Love it. So yeah. yeah, let's get to the light. Sometimes these lights go out because we got goddamn new, manager of this city I am in. Before, we got vegan festivals here. Amazing, energy being spread. And then all of a sudden this new guy comes in, heavy on meat probably. He's like, oh, what is this positive? Let's get out of this. Let's get rid of it, right? And then now, right when I come here, I think a few years ago this happened. But anyway, hopefully a new one will come in and we're gonna bring back the vegan festivals, the only ones that happen in Turkey basically, which happened luckily in this city. Hopefully it will happen again, but it already happened many times before, and it brought a lot of vegan stuff into these businesses, and I love it. And the tourists love it, retired people love it, and yeah, and I love these books. These books are great. So yeah, I'll just walk more, I guess, maybe until we go to the ships again, and then come back. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I don't know if there's more to talk about on this situation. Max, congratulations, my friend. Conor, congratulations to you too for making UFC 10 times better, growing the business 10 times. All of a sudden it means something to way more people. Other people can see the magic of it too. The modern gladiators, warriors, they should be respected the most because it's the hardest business in the world, hardest work to master all elements of the fighting and then go into the cage to fight to death, basically. Good luck doing that. Not many souls, stars are gonna do that. Not many light warriors gonna do that. So yeah, and I think we're gonna see an amazing future, my friend. As more and more people like Conor, even like seeing all those new videos of Conor talking about this enlightenment stuff in a deeper way, it's making more and more people realize. But I had to now give that example, especially after this huge disappointment, because now a lot of people are gonna say, oh, what happened? What happened to all that manifestation? What happened to all this? Like, you know what happened? Money happened. We all know what happened deep down, and some of us just see it. Because in every other fighter, right? Like in every other fighter, right? You see from their body language, you see from what they say, what they talk, basically before the fight, the interviews. I know of people who basically make amazing predictions based off of that. Not just numerology and gematria, all these 13 stuff, all this other stuff. Probably there's like so many right now, numerology, gematria, Patreon channels who make all these bullshit predictions based on just numbers. But again, it's not just about numbers. Once you combine that with the body language, with what they say, how confident they are while they're walking into the fight, what they like, the Conor walking, like the first, like already the hair is different, and then with the face, I didn't feel confidence there while he was walking in. And he wasn't injured before. He was doing the jumping kicks, he was doing all this other stuff before. So it happened in the first move of the fight. Unfortunately, the most disrespectful start to someone like Max Holloway. And yeah, that's what happens. It's a fight game. It's a hard game, my friend. You can blow out anything. The bones break, like it happened to Conor with Dustin Poirier. And yeah, it is what it is. But it's not punishment. It's lesson. It's a pause. It's a stop for you to go look deep within, into the heart, my friends. And it wasn't in the center, like close to center before. It was way here before, rather here actually. And then Mandela effect happened. But anyway, so yeah, just like that Monopoly guy, right? With the monocle, and all of a sudden, oh no, he did this. Oh, he's in the Monopoly. Like, oh my god. But yeah, the monocle of that guy all of a sudden disappears from every Monopoly version of the game ever existed in every other years. Oh, except there was one version where one of the paper money of Monopoly had that. But we don't remember that, of course. We remember in everything. But anyway, not to debate about monolithic stuff. But yeah, then we walk closer to here, so less, more lights and less sound. But it's an amazing place. Turkey, the best. Especially the cats and dogs and amazing people. You know, very funny, being authentic. I see authenticity everywhere here. Like especially bazaars, people, you know, selling fruits, vegetables, and many other things, and the way they negotiate is just super funny. Like it's a comedy show walking through a bazaar. It's a comedy show walking through this place. Like once I stop this video, I'm just gonna laugh inside. Basically, like all these people, like almost like mafia movie I'm walking through sometimes, and also very funny. But yeah, people being authentic, and that's what it is all about. And yeah, that's what we loved about Conor, him being authentic, and Liverpool lad, and Bobby Green. Like right now there's a fight going on in front of me, but it's not a fight, it's just two guys pushing their heads head to head. Let's see if we can walk through. Calm down. Calm down, my friend. Anyway, so yeah, classic alpha male stuff, right? Who is the alpha? Who is the beta? Who is the sigma? The sigma is walking away. Anyway, so yeah, you create your own reality. You don't realize it, but you do. Right? I talk about that stuff, mafia stuff, all of a sudden it happens, right? In a way. But yeah. So this is why, if you do focus on the bad stuff and walk through your streets in a bad way, you're gonna create some bad stuff. You're gonna see some kids dead. Or you can focus on the good. And then when the bad stuff happens, you can alchemize them. That's an opportunity. That's a massive opportunity for you to realize you are at a breakthrough point that you can take that, turn it into a joke, a funny thing, or you can turn it into an amazing opportunity for you, right? And that's what it's all about, my friend. That's what it's all about. So yeah, let's go back to the ships actually from different angles. Let's go back to the ships. And may as well end this video. How long has this been anyway? I have to create multiple different ones. I have to merge now. But yeah, let's get out of here. We're gonna go through a maze. Oh yeah. So yeah, I wish speedy recovery to Conor McGregor. You know, precision beats power, timing beats speed, and it's all about timing in this life. You gotta realize, you gotta see that time and space is an illusion. It's always been an illusion, so you gotta pick your favorite illusions, my friend, and then realize that, you know, it is about timing, but you create your own life. You create your own time, right? You create your own opportunities, because once you align with your higher self, all of a sudden your butterfly, effect that works through your body from that, blind man and the crippled man that work together, all of a sudden gonna work together in a better way. All of a sudden your physical body, soul and spirit gonna work in a much better way for you to realize that it's all interconnected. Everything has been interconnected. Every tiny thing was importante Nothing was a coincidence, nothing was random ever. Not even a millisecond was random. I mean, think about it. If it's a dream, if it's a simulation, once you can see the codes, those ones and zeros, and then tap into that zero state, all of a sudden ignore the ones. And in that zero state, that, you know, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Krishna consciousness, you can see the both worlds happening at the same time. Then you become a walking prophet in the world, basically. You know? Because then you work with God. You work with that highest power, which is within you. Within you, my friend. And yeah, you see that, then guess what you're gonna start seeing? You're gonna start seeing other angels, other stars, like Conor McGregor walking through his dharma, but it doesn't mean you're gonna walk through it perfectly. There's a reason why we're all here. We gotta go through our own tests, our own battle, our own simulations journey, and then we go back to being angels. We go back to being the angels that we truly are in the other realms, in the astral realms, you know. And yeah, this is my last time here. This is the last time for many people, but you know, the natives, the gate is narrow. Unfortunately, it's a tough game. Many people have to, you know, I don't agree with it, have to reincarnate until they get it. They don't get it, other angels like me come in to make it easier. And yeah, but yeah, I've been coming here a lot, and it's, yeah, I mean, at some point, right now I'm 33 years old. Now I understand the game in a deeper way, even though the last 7 years I've been on this awakening journey after especially astral projection stuff, teaching it to others and doing it, and realizing my rank in the astral, seeing the power, and you know, within, in not only me but everyone else, because again, we are all of equal. We all come from the same source here. But don't get lost in the source, my friend. Don't get lost in the source, right? Because a lot of people get lost in the source. And some people, some of the stars get lost in the source after the blink, after the green, right? After that money comes into the picture. And then, but he's gonna, just like most people, eventually, or all the people, eventually, they're gonna see through the game. And then they're gonna, you know, new levels, new devils, right? And then you beat those devils. And then you become the Viking, a powerful warrior and Hawaiian spirit, powerful warrior spirit, light warrior. And yeah, then your powers grow and grow. Then you become a giant. All of a sudden, yeah, you become like a bigger Viking. But once you are a bigger Viking, what do you face? Then again, new levels, new devils. So yeah, then you have to face those devils. But guess what? Those devils won't face you. You know, like my old version of me would never, like especially when I was way more shy, you know, and all this other bullshit. I wouldn't be able to walk through all these people talking about all this stuff. But I activated my higher self. Now, stress gone, anxiety gone, reincarnation gone. Right? I'm on my dharma now. And yeah, once you're on your dharma, you're out of that matrix reincarnation soul trap. Now you help others to get out of it. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to continue to do. So yeah, my friends, with that, my time here is done for today. There's many more videos to come. Many more. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of deep stuff. I like to dive deep in the deepest oceans that nobody swam in. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm trying to do for the last 20 years. And that got me into being this version of myself. And yeah, I'm gonna just improve, evolve. It's a never-ending, amazing journey. Eventually, it becomes, because eventually you realize it's going to be eternal bliss afterwards. So why then ponder upon the bad? Why then just focus on the bad? Because if you want to focus on the bad, this life got a lot of that to focus on. So you're gonna just get consumed in it. You know, it's gonna grind your gears, my friends. Grind them into dust. So yeah, let's end it with some grounding. First things first. How you doing, James? How you doing, my friend? First. All right. Let's get this. All right. I paused by mistake. Alright. It's a meditation. A meditation. Meditation. But yeah. So, with that, what more to say? We may as well end it, but many more videos to come about all kinds of stuff. It can be about UFC, it can be about anything else. Anything that's I'm guided towards from my higher self, you know, what I love doing. And please try to focus on what you love doing, because there's a reason why you love it. And if you can turn that love into work, if you quit that 9 to 5 which you were not meant to be there, you're gonna see a lot of doors open all of a sudden. Help comes in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways. And God is you anyway. God is all of us. It is. Religions are misdirecting, but in a deeper level, when you understand the figurative speech, allegory, metaphors, you realize it was always talking about you. Always was talking about you, my friend. So will you see that? Will you realize that? A lot of you, if you watch this video, you see that. Either you see that deep down or you see it clearly. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure everyone sees this clearly. We're gonna get them. We gotta here. We gotta. There's way better realms to experience, and after this realm you can go straight to Goloka. I'm gonna go even beyond, where you never have to reincarnate, never have to develop bad karma. Goloka, you know, Goloka. But yeah. So do whatever you want, do whatever you feel that makes you feel the best. Focus on your highest desires. That's gonna put you into your highest path, that's gonna lead you into your highest self. And then you shall see why you came here, why this was one of the biggest realms where you can jump straight, you know, afterwards being God, basically. Straight back to Source God, or in that path, it's a forever path, and it's gonna be eternal bliss of slowly but surely experiencing everything amazing as long as you want. But first, you pass through your lessons, you pass through your hero's journey, and it's gonna get tough. It's gonna get very tough, unless you just know one simple trick. Focus on the now. What is it trying to tell me? Should I be angry about it? Should I be sad about it? Should I be this and that about it? Or should I focus on what it's trying to tell me and try to focus on the stuff I love? Comedy, again, UFC, let's say, or spirituality, astral projection, lucid dreaming, grounding, meditation, sauna, cold, you know, treatments like shower, Wim Hof breathing type of stuff. Whatever gets you going. Music, video games, you know, whatever that interests you the most. But don't waste away your time, because every single video game, every single music, every single movie, every single TV show, every single fucking cartoon, every single whatever has been trying to tell you something. It all got deeper meanings and deeper symbology in it for a reason, all these music videos and stuff, for you to realize, is there something going on? Is there something going on here? How the how come it's everywhere? How come this mystery is this, you know, how come it's everywhere, right? So yeah, then you start seeing it, like Conor McGregor said, it can't be a coincidence. Come on now, can it be a coincidence, all this stuff? Can it be coincidence? No. I was the biggest coincidence theorist before. I had all kinds of theories about, you know, all kinds of theories about why it's all coincidence, why it's all about evolution. And yeah, there's a deeper level of it, like, you know, where yes, you gotta evolve, and we've been evolving from different stuff, but you know, not in the sense of abagenesis and evolution and Big Bang and you know, spiritual version of that. Even all that stuff is a religion anyway, like to believe that, like which I believed in around 15 years as an agnostic atheist, and then last 7 years of it in a deeper way where, okay, I can see the intelligent design behind this and all these mysteries and all these non-coincidences basically, but in the real reality, who knows? Let's be an agnostic atheist about it, right? But anyway, I was deep, you know, swimming in those deep oceans, but eventually you see that, you know what? Okay, I realize it's all connected. We are all connected. It's almost like hive mind, you know, in a way, where we are all one. So source God, it's all God. You are God, I am God. Me, myself, and I. You're talking to, it's a mirror. So, time and space is all illusion. If it's all illusions, pick your favorite illusions, my friend. Be water. You gotta be water, my friend. You gotta be water in every situation, right? If you become the oil, you go, you know, in your high horse up there, and then what happens, right? You get humbled eventually by life, or you do it again. But yeah, once you you choose the path of enlightenment, humbleness, killing that lower ego, lower pride, and all this bad stuff, and working towards that spiritual, you know, ego, spiritual pride, like the Hinduism and Buddhism talked about the higher elements of that, you know, the 7 rays, all the positive versions of the 7 rays, not the negative kinds, and then you master all the 7 rays, and then you realize what manifestation is, what law of assumption is, how the tool works, and then you'll find yourself in much better places, right? Then you keep seeing different devils, and you beat them easily, because again, now you realize it's a lesson, it's trying to tell me something, and you're now focused, you are silent now, you listen, you don't just interrupt, you don't just, you know, and then when you do that, you become the Sigma, you know, you just, in every single situation, it has to, like the universe organizes every butterfly effect, like it's gonna make people say stuff that they don't want to say, or they don't, all of a sudden your world will change, because your aura changed, because people will sense it deep down, and everything will change because of that. Your situations, your experiences will change. Yeah. So, why not then focus on that, my friend? So yeah, do that. Focus on the good. And focus on the bad too, but in a deeper way. See what it's trying to tell you, that non-attachment, right? What does that mean? Well, what if non-attachment is about this life too? Not just about, oh, you gotta, once, don't go to the light, it's gonna be past lives, past life tests and all these past life visions, and then, past life reviews, and then it's gonna trick you into coming back. What if you choose to come back because you realize, or whatever contracts you signed and agreed with, eventually, you say, you know what, I'm gonna pass it this time, or you realize you gotta have to pass it anyway. So yeah, my friends, It's good amount of grounding. Grounding. So yeah. Let's end it there, I guess. Been trying to end for a while anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of great information to be shared in the last 20 years. Doing basically 724 research. It made me discover a lot of good stuff, truth, you know. It's not your truth, it's not my truth, there's only your truth. And it's not religions, it's not going to just find it in religions. Unless you realize it's about metaphors, allegory, figures. Anyway. Alright, let's end it. Cheers, my friends. Take care. Alright? Enjoy your time. Treat yourself. Try to focus on the now.